How do you change the way you talk to yourself? How do you make your inner voice play nice? Stick around and find out. Welcome to the Simple Steps to Thrive podcast. If you're tired of feeling tired and stressed, you're in the right place. If you're done with feeling overwhelmed or stuck in survival mode, you're in the right place. It's time to trade in that survival mode for a life where you thrive. And we'll learn how to do it together, one simple step at a time. If we don't know each other yet, my name is Michelle Acker, and I teach everyday amazing women like you how to take simple steps in your daily life that will help you do what matters most to you. Why? Because I believe you're here for a purpose, and that purpose is incredibly important. We need you out there, feeling your best and running on all cylinders, so to speak. What does that reference even mean? I'm not sure. But I am sure that you don't have to go it alone. We're in this together. Are you ready? We'll take it one simple step at a time. Well, hello there. Welcome back. Last week, we talked about a 1-inch square and whether or not the words in your head made the cut to get on that square or not. So I thought this week we could talk about what to do if that inner voice didn't make the cut and what to do if it isn't playing nice. But let me back up a sec. If I'm not making sense about the 1-inch square, did you miss last week's episode? Go back and take a listen. It's a short and sweet 7 minutes. Okay, so what do we do if that inner voice is a closet mean girl? Well, we drag her out of the closet and give her a makeover. First, you have to recognize the ways that your inner voice is not playing nice. Notice the negative language. Notice the tone that you are using to talk with yourself that isn't so nice. Once we've recognized it, then we can go on to number 2, which is to reject that. We reject any voice that is not speaking life over us. Now, will people sometimes tell us something that we don't like, that we did wrong, that we could improve? Constructive criticism? Yes, we are all about that around here. But that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about the words in your head that are negative and mean and not beneficial in any way. So what do you do after you reject them? You rewrite them. When you find a word or a phrase or something that you say to yourself over and over in your head, even if you just say it one time, I want you to say it out loud. First of all, because that is crazy how much power that is. If you say it out loud or write it down on paper, all of a sudden you recognize that is something you would never say to somebody that you love. So say it out loud or write it on paper, and then we're going to rewrite it into something that's positive and true about you. Okay? So for example, one of the things that used to roll around in my head all the time when I would look at the mess in my house was, I'm just a disaster. Well, that's not true. I'm not a disaster. The chaos in my head might be a disaster. The chaos in my house might be a disaster, but I am not a disaster. So in this case, I would take that and I just said it out loud, right? To you over the internet. Oh my gosh. But even more than that, I write that down in my journal and I would say, I am a disaster. And then I take my pen and I draw a line through the whole dang sentence. Because I don't want that in my journal. I don't want that to be something that I see and read and possibly take it even just for a nanosecond as something that's true. So I know when I go back and flip through my journal and there's something with a line crossed through it, I can still see the words underneath. But I know that I've rejected those words by crossing them out. And then I write the truth. Okay, so the truth is I have too much going on to keep up with. The truth is I'm trying my best. The truth is, I can simplify my life to tame the chaos. I am not a disaster. I am doing my best. And then once you find the replacement words, the truth, the speaking life over yourself, the positive words that are true, they might be uncomfortable because you're not used to saying them to yourself, but they are true. And you repeat those words to yourself. Every time that inner mean girl comes out, you repeat the true words, the positive words, the speaking life over yourself. And you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it. And if you have to repeat it 100 times a day, you do it. Because eventually what will happen is that your brain will rewire itself, and that negative inner mean girl will go away. because you will have replaced her with positive words of truth. Not to nerd out on you too much, but I love the brain science stuff. So what actually happens in your brain, the more you think about something, the more you build or reinforce this little neural pathway in your brain. Like a little tiny road in your brain, part of the map that is your brain, gets created when you think a new thought. The things that you think over and over again, those pathways get strengthened and reinforced and grow stronger and stronger. But your brain only has a limited capacity. So the things in your brain that never get used, like, the locker combination from your middle school 8th grade locker, if eventually your brain figures out, oh, she doesn't need that anymore, I'm going to prune that away. So you can do the same thing with your inner mean girl. Replace her and repeat and repeat and repeat the words in your head where you're speaking life and truth over yourself. And don't let the mean girl words happen anymore. As soon as you recognize them, reject them, and cover them up with the truth. And eventually your brain will rewire itself. And the speak life part of you will get stronger. And the mean girl will get pruned away. This week's podcast perk is a free tool that you can use to put this recognize, reject, rewrite, repeat, rewire into practice. You can grab it using the link in the show notes, or if you're already on the email list, just look for it in your inbox. I try to make it easy peasy for you. It's so easy to download all of these free tools and then let them sit in a file folder on your device that's really just a digital hoarder closet, right? I know I'm guilty of that. But downloading something doesn't give us the transformation that we're looking for. Opening it and using it and applying it are the only way to get that transformation. So if you download and use any of the resources I give you, I hope it's this one. This one has the potential for tremendous transformation in your life. Tremendous. But only if you make the time and put it into action. And I can't do that for you, but you can. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Are you ready to give that inner mean girl a makeover? Take some extra time and pay attention to the words in your head this week and even the tone that you're using with yourself. Recognize and reject the words you want to change. Rewrite them into a positive and true version. Repeat them over and over and over. And every time the mean girl voice shows up, you shut her down and repeat the positive, true words over yourself. Eventually, your brain will rewire itself and this will become your new inner voice. You've got this. Just take it one simple step at a time. Thanks for listening and sharing and leaving reviews for the podcast. Did you know that every time you share this podcast with a friend or on social media, an angel gets its wings? Okay, maybe that's not true, but it does help someone else take their own simple steps to thrive. And you get to take credit for sending them here. It's a win-win, right? All kidding aside, thank you sincerely for helping to spread the word. You guys are the best. This episode has been brought to you by Romans 12:2 in the NLT. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. See you next time.